In the headlines, the latest development from the medical examiner's office in the death of a missing woman who was found in her own home last week. More than a dozen people from our area are being tied to an insurance scam ring. More jobs are likely to be lost as one of our local businesses will be closing, and we take you into our exclusive tour of what's being done to the historic Douglas Block in downtown Rocky Mount. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak starting now.
From WHIG-TV, this is Newsbreak 31. Now, here's Marie Torres.
Hello, and thanks for watching WHIG-TV Newsbreak, your voice in the community. I'm Marie Torres. We bring you the latest development in the death of a missing woman who was found in her own home last week. Pitt County Medical Examiner's Office confirmed to us Wednesday that the cause of death for 22-year-old Amy Lynn Pitt, who had been missing since December 30th, was by hanging. Her manner of death is still being left up to investigators as to whether the death was by suicide or homicide. Though Tarboro Police, who is investigating Pitt's death, has yet to release where the body was found in the house on January 19th, our sources reveal that the body was discovered in a closet. Police last week seized a closet rod along with other items from the home Pitt shared with her boyfriend Ben Harrelson. Harrelson has been questioned and was recently released from the hospital for 2 weeks after being involved in a car wreck. An eyewitness said he saw Pitt and Harrelson arguing outside the home on January 2nd, though Harrelson says he has not seen Pitt since December 30th. No one has been charged in this death. Currently, police are still handling it as a homicide. A funeral service was held for Pitt Wednesday morning. More than a dozen people from our area are being tied to an insurance scam ring. According to Nash County Sheriff's Office, Tuesday morning they released the names and charges linking the alleged schemers. Wayne Goodwin, the state's insurance commissioner, announced that the incidents involved staged auto accidents. The alleged ringleaders are brothers Howard Earl Whitfield Jr. and Douglas Whitfield, who are believed to have operated in Nash, Edgecombe, and Franklin counties. Investigators believe the two conspired with family members and others to file insurance claims for wrecks that never occurred and to physically stage crashes in which one suspect intentionally hit another suspect's vehicle from behind. Universal Insurance, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, GMAC Insurance, Nationwide Insurance, and Geico Insurance paid out a total of $76,217.48 in claims between August 2009 and January 2010. 10 people have been arrested so far, with 6 others who are still wanted. Some of those are 18-year-old Howard Buddy Whitfield III of Rocky Mount, 23-year-olds Ryan Craig Bobbitt and Stephen Tyrell Jones of Rocky Mount, 26-year-old Leandris Lee Murray, 27-year-old Christy Turner of Rocky Mount, 32-year-old John David Hoggard Jr. of Tarboro, 36-year-old Renee Jones Nacarto of Nashville, and 56-year-old Virginia Howlett of Rocky Mount. Their charges include obtaining property by false pretense, insurance fraud, and conspiracy. We have an update on a recent neighborhood burglary that was stopped by concerned citizens. According to Rocky Mount Police, they report that on Monday at a home on 113 Greenbank Court, 19-year-old Jaquez Leverne Silver allegedly broke into the home. Neighbors said they witnessed Silver kicking in the door. Another neighbor chased Silver down and police proceeded to arrest him. Silver is being charged with felony breaking and entering, attempted felony larceny, and resisting a public officer. He received a $15,000 bond and was transported to Nash County Jail. Rocky Mount police say they need your help in identifying 2 alleged bandits. They say 2 males pictured here were involved in a larceny from Walmart on January 16th. The men left in a white sport utility vehicle, according to Walmart's video surveillance. If you can identify these suspects, you should contact Crime Stoppers at 252-977-1111. On the job front for our area, more jobs are likely to be lost as one of our local businesses will be closing. The Home Depot stores in Rocky Mount as well as in Greenville are expected to close. This week, company officials notified store officials. Rocky Mount store, which has been open since February 2004, employs about 89 people. Home Depot corporate officials say the stores are not expected to meet long-term financial returns. Starting today until the next several months, a liquidation sale of items in Rocky Mount store is scheduled. Staff members are said not to have influenced corporate decision and were said to have worked very hard. In March 2010, Home Depot closed its store in Wilson. About 50 Home Depots have closed across the country since 2007. When we return on Newsbreak, downtown Rocky Mount is getting a facelift, starting with one of the most historic areas. We bring you into our tour of the Douglas Block with Assistant City Manager Peter Varney. Stay with us.
You waited patiently. Now it's time. Clearance time at Davenport Honda in Rocky Mount. Hundreds of brand new Hondas, all tagged with the year's lowest prices, with savings up to $6,000 and a lifetime warranty on every vehicle. But hurry, because at Davenport Honda, these deals are the one thing that won't last forever. Davenport Honda in Rocky Mount, your dealership for life.
The Country Inn & Suites is your home away from home with a staff that always treats you as family. If you or your church or company has visitors, give them a great Rocky Mount welcome with a special discount on their overnight or extended stay. Not only is the Country Inn & Suites a comfortable place, we'll spoil them with fresh cookies and complimentary breakfast. We are filled with luxuries like an indoor pool, fitness center, and a guest laundry. The Business Center includes a boardroom, connection to high-speed internet, and catering for meetings is always available. Call me, Donna Vachavis, at 252-442-0500 for a tour and or to set up your corporate rate. You're always welcome as family in the Country Inn & Suites, Rocky Mount.
Welcome back to Newsbreak. I'm Marie Torres. Downtown Rocky Mount may never be the same, but it just may look a little better. We take you into our exclusive walkthrough with City of Rocky Mount Assistant Manager Peter Varney, who tells us of the progress made so far on the Douglas Block. True, it's a work in progress, but to those who knew it back when, it's a dazzling block of art. We were invited to take a look for ourselves to see and hear just what's being done on the Douglas Block.
We're just finishing up the restoration of the historic Douglas Block. This is the old black business district from the days of segregation. Most of these buildings were built back at the turn of the century, 1910, 1920, in that era. And there are 6 buildings that we're renovating. This one that we're standing in now is the Douglas Building, a 2-story building. And what we've done with it is created 5 residential apartments up on the 2nd floor, and we have 6 retail and office spaces down on the 1st floor. The next building is the Manhattan Theater building. We fixed it up so that it could house 3 separate tenants, but what we now have there is divided into 2 spaces so that we could provide for 2 tenants in there. It's a 1-story building. The next building beyond that is the Booker T Theater. It is a popular theater back in the day, showed movies. And what we've done is we've changed the floor from a sloped floor to a flat floor, and we'll be using it as a community space, a general purpose space, so that reunions or wedding receptions or meetings or even some performances could be held in there. We did extend the stage. We have provided an audio-visual system in there and a sound system that will rock the place. Have a screen in there, so it's a very flexible, multi-purpose type space. And it'll be managed by the Parks and Recreation Department for the City of Rocky Mount. We have the Burnett Building. It's a 2-story building at the corner of Albemarle and East Thomas Street. We have 3 residential apartments up on the 2nd floor there, and 3 retail or commercial spaces on the 1st floor. And we have tenants for those spaces on the 1st floor. We have the Stokes Building, which is a 1-story building on the 200 block of East Thomas Street that has 6, it originally had 6 spaces, 6 small commercial spaces in it. And what we've done is renovated that building. From the outside, looks like it has the 6 spaces, but we fixed it up so there'll be 2 spaces, one on one side and one on the other side of the building, and have tenants for that lined up as well. And then the last building is the one we call the Thorpe Building. It's where Browning Auto Parts was for many, many years. It's really 2 buildings in one, but plan to fit that up for restaurant use. And that all of these buildings, the 1st floor spaces, we fit up as what we call vanilla box standard, which means we have the lighting and the heating and air conditioning put into it, but no floor covering, and just plain primed out white walls in it, so that when a tenant comes in, they can fit up the space to meet their requirements.
Our tour shows us the new vibrancy to come, but just how much does this project cost?
The entire project is about an $8 million project. We financed it with the sale of tax credits from historic preservation tax credits and new markets tax credits, Section 108 loan from the Department of HUD, and a $1 million grant also from HUD called the Brownfield Economic Development Initiative Grant. And so right now, today, what we're doing is finishing it up. The certificates of occupancy were issued December 30th, and what's remaining for the contractor to do to finish out is to punch out a punch list.
We asked Barney, with the new renovations, what does the city hope for this area?
The city's hope is that this is the first of, we hope, several phases that will lead to an ultimate redevelopment of this quadrant, I guess you'd say, of the downtown area. We have renovated these historic buildings here, the 6 buildings. The next thing we hope would happen is that a developer, a private investor would come in and build new buildings where we have vacant open space between these buildings. We have two infill spaces that we'd like to have built upon. We also have 3 other out parcels that are available out here, so that this entire block could be developed in phases. And we would hope that this block could serve as a model for the other blocks that we have in downtown Rocky Mount, so that this would lead the way really and can show the community what can be done and what should be done.
But with all the hard work put into this project, just when will it be complete?
The buildings are nearly done, but we're now embarking on a streetscape renovation. So if you come to the site and try to get into the buildings, it's very difficult to do because the sidewalks have been torn up, and it's a real muddy mess out there at the moment. And so in about 3 months, we should have all of that put back together with our new streetscape plan, which will be wider sidewalks, parallel parking, with some streetscape furniture such as benches and planters, new street trees out there, underground utilities, bike racks, those things like that, so that it should be a very attractive and easy to get in and out of, but it'll take another, it'll be later this spring. I'm going to guess it'll be March, maybe even early April before we can get into these spaces.
WHIG-TV, Rocky Mount. We'll be doing a follow-up on the renovations, and we'll take you inside once again when that's completed. And now it's time for our Pet of the Week.
Max is 6 pounds. Of course, he's put on a little bit of weight since he's been with me, but Max is 6 pounds, a little over, and he is learning house manners. He's a great dog. He gets along with big and small dogs. He loves cats that love to play with him. He's house trained. He does have he's learned about potty habits. I do use a belly band on him at times at night, but he's crate trained. He just follows with the rest of the crowd. He's just an excellent dog. He loves everybody. Any and everybody.
He has a very sweet face.
He is. He loves to get kisses, and he loves to go on car rides and run around the yard. He'll get out there and he'll just run like crazy, or either he'll come inside and lay in your lap and just lounge around and just want to be snuggled on. But Max is the perfect dog, and he'll be an excellent pet for somebody for the right home.
He's a sweet boy.
He is very much. And he's and Max is only about 1.5 years old, so he's still young, so he's full of spunk.
Okay, good.
Yeah, but he's been fully vetted that when we microchip, you know, give all the vaccines, spay or neuter, and like I said, I think I said microchip too. So they come with everything.
Okay. And again, what number if people want Max in their home?
The number is 252-314-7907, and our website is 4animalsnc.petfinder.com.
Okay. And if Shelly, just let everybody know, why is it so important to adopt?
Because this little guy right here could be sitting in the shelter and, you know, need a home, and you just see what sweet little babies are there that are just ready to be taken home, that are so sweet and well behaved and just perfect, and you can just go there and you can just walk right out the door with one the same day. You know, it's just so important to go to your shelter and look and see what they have.
Absolutely, and a lot of people don't think about it too. Another thing I think of is, you know, the strays that, you know, people lose pets and they don't ever think to go to the shelter first to look for their pet. You know, that happens all the time.
Yeah, it does.
You know, but
all right. Well, thank you all so very much, and thank you, Max. All right. Thanks, ladies. And we'll have more on how you can adopt, spay, and neuter next week. After the break, we'll have the latest in sports and weather. Don't go anywhere.
You waited patiently. Now it's time. Clearance time at Davenport Honda in Rocky Mount. Hundreds of brand new Hondas, all tagged with the year's lowest prices, with savings up to $6,000 and a lifetime warranty on every vehicle. But hurry, because at Davenport Honda, these deals are the one thing that won't last forever. Davenport Honda in Rocky Mount, your dealership for life.
When it's happening to you, you'll hear from us. WHIG TV News Break is reporting on the news, issues, and stories that matter to you. Call us at 252-885-1814. Email us at marie.whigtv@gmail.com or check us streaming live at whigtv.com. We're your voice, ready to bring you the news.
The country Country Inn & Suites is your home away from home with a staff that always treats you as family. If you or your church or company has visitors, give them a great Rocky Mount welcome with a special discount on their overnight or extended stay. Not only is the Country Inn & Suites a comfortable place, we'll spoil them with fresh cookies and complimentary breakfast. We are filled with luxuries like an indoor pool, fitness center, and a guest laundry. The Business Center includes a boardroom, connection to high-speed internet, and catering for meetings is always available. Call me, Donovan Chavis, at 252-442-0500 for a tour and or to set up your corporate rate. You're always welcome as family in the Country Inn & Suites, Rocky Mount.
And we're back. Here to give us the forecast and weather is WHIG TV meteorologist Fred Holdsworth. Fred?
A bit of snow to our north and maybe even a little bit of ice out in our area this morning, so you want to be careful driving to work or walking this morning and give the temperature a little time to warm up a bit so it can melt that what we call black ice, the ice you cannot see until it's too late. So be careful out there this morning. But that's nothing compared to what we have to the north of us, Washington, D.C., northward to the state of Maine, anywhere from 10 to 20 inches, and they're not through yet as that low pressure system continues off the coast of Massachusetts. Let's take a look now at our forecast map, and we'll see what we can expect into this afternoon. First of all, the low pressure that I was talking about, this was over our coast last night or late yesterday afternoon, let's say, and the barometer at our station dropped to 29.50 inches. And this morning, looking at the pressure out there this morning, it's 29.15. So it has really deepened, and it's causing quite a bit of wind and blizzard-like conditions over the northeast this morning. New York City picking up 15 inches in Central Park. The low will continue to move on out, and they should be through with this thing by tonight, but still quite a bit of cleanup and snow removal to do in the northeast for the next few days. Snow will also be found along the Great Lakes, along Lake Michigan, up into Wisconsin, and down into central Indiana, central Ohio, and across to central Pennsylvania and the western part of New York State. Going farther to the west, we see basically mild, or let's say not wild conditions out here in the western part of the United States. High pressure in control over the mid-Rockies right in here. There's no precipitation forecast for this area for today. As you go farther north, it's a little different story, as there's rain along the coast of British Columbia and snow as you go farther inland to the higher elevations. Heavy snow expected right here just to the north of the U.S. border. High pressure down in the Rio Grande Valley today will continue to give them some mild conditions, bringing that flow off the Gulf of Mexico up through Old Mexico, and things will be pretty good down in that area today. Over the southeast, sunny sky as this high pressure builds into our area. Well, let's take a look now at our forecast and see what we can expect for the next few days. Today will be sunny with a high of 46 this afternoon. Northwest wind at 6 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tonight with a low of 28. Winds will be calm. For Friday, partly cloudy, 51 degrees with a west wind at 8. Friday night, partly cloudy with a low of 28 degrees. Saturday, sunny with a high of 57 and a west wind at 10 miles per hour. Saturday night, clear with a low of 30. Sunny on Sunday with a high of 53. Sunday night, partly cloudy with a low of 31. And for Monday, cloudy, 50 degrees as another area of precipitation moves our way for Tuesday. Our high yesterday, 44. Our low this morning was 28. And rainfall over the past 24 hours, 41/100ths of an inch at our weather station. And that's the Rocky Mount weather. Now back to you.
All right, thanks, Fred. And here with us now is WHIG-TV sports reporter Edward Green. What's in our sports report this week, Edward?
Oh, a lot of good things to get to, Marie.
All right.
While the 4 Big East area schools get most of the love around here, North Edgecombe has quietly been building its program over the last few years. Now, the Warriors went 19-6 last year and are off to a hot start at 13-1 this season, including being undefeated through the first half of conference play. Now, if this interviewee looks a little familiar, well, that's because Danny Ward pulls off double duty at North Edgecombe as the coach for both varsity football and boys varsity basketball. Now, I caught up with Coach Ward before Wednesday's game against Kip Pride.
You go from football to basketball. What's it like making the change from the two sports?
In the past, it has not been really hard. This year, it was a little difficult because I thought I was going to be going longer in football, and my body was still, my mind was still in football, and I had to transition over to basketball. But as far as the players, it's not that hard because it's the same guys.
Okay. You guys have been doing rather well for the team the last couple of years. You guys have been making good playoff runs, but it seems to always kind of stop in that third round. What's it take to get over that hump?
We got that's what we're working on there, trying to learn how to finish games, put teams away, and it's just that seems like we've been catching teams that's playing a really good game at good times against us, and Plymouth did it a few years ago, and then last year it was Perquimans. So we're hoping to try to win one more game this year and get to Fayetteville.
Now, you guys have got off to a solid start already this season. What's been the key to your guys' early success?
Well, having a few experienced players help. As a sophomore, Kelson Richardson was pulled up to run point guard for us, and he's a senior now. And as a freshman, Montrez Harrell was pulled up to play big man for us, and he's a junior now. So I think that experience, and along with other guys working hard, has gotten us where we're at right now.
What's one of your biggest surprises you've noticed this season, either good or bad?
I guess the good is some of the new guys who have joined the team. It didn't take as long to get the chemistry to where it is right now that I thought it was going to take.
Okay, and where do you see this team going? What's their ceiling?
Well, if we continue to play good defense like we are playing, I'm hoping to be in Fayetteville and try to take care of business down in Fayetteville.
And just what's one thing you've learned from your team that they've kind of taught you over the years?
That even sometimes when they're not seen to be serious, that they are serious and focus on what they want to be. I mean, it's a different generation. Sometimes you need to be more focused. Coach, we are focused. And I guess they can multitask a whole lot better than me.
All right, Coach. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Now, North Edgecombe did extend its win streak last night with a 54-46 win against Kip Pride. And like I mentioned earlier, this keeps the Warriors undefeated at 6-0 in the conference after facing each team one time. But Marie, there are still some trouble spots left on the schedule for North Edgecombe. They must travel to Kip Pride, Weldon, and Northampton East, all in a 6-day span in the last week of the season. So being conference leaders, they're going to get everybody's best shot each night.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, we wish them the best of luck, and thank you very much,
Thank
Edward.
you, Mary.
And thank you also for watching Newsbreak. Join us next week as we continue to bring you news that's impacting our community. For WHIG-TV, I'm Marie Torres. We'll see you next time.